afternoon and welcome to Sea Fishing with CJ. Down on Seaford Beach with my good friend Woody. We're kind of scratching around. It was a good idea this morning when I was phoned and said, do you want to go fishing this afternoon? Because I was sitting in the garden and the sun was shining. And trust me, if you walk 500 yards that way, the sun's shining over there as well. But what we have got is we've got a bit of a sea mist going on. So today, what I'm doing is I've got a little bit of a contest going on between Multiplier and fixed spool, Braid versus monofilament, Zziplex versus continental rod. Now we've been out fishing for a while because I did a live on YouTube, and I wasn't sure if I was going to film today, and I was also quite convinced I wasn't going to get anything. But I've just had quite a rattling bite on the right hand rod. Hasn't done anything since that first bite, but that's not to say the fish isn't still there. But anyway, so we're going to leave it, let it sit for a bit, and then see what we got. So both rods have got scratching rigs on, exactly the same rig, baited with oiled black lug from Tony's tackle. Both have got 5-ounce leads, gripper leads. So we're fishing exactly the same rigs at the end tackle, but it's the difference between braid and monofilament. As I say, I've had one good tug on the right hand rod, which isn't doing anything more now, which in my experience sometimes you get that replaced, so maybe I'm being wishful thinking, but it'd be nice to have a little place on the end of that. We're going to give it about another half an hour, I think, and then I'm going to call it a day and go and have my tea. Because although it's roasting hot in land, it's frigging freezing here. Well, good evening again to Sea Fishing with CJ, and as you can see, we're down on the beach again. Tonight we have got the battle of the scratching rigs. So we're going to be fishing two rods with exactly the same rigs on them, but one rod is a Zziplex with a multiplier with a monofill line, and the other rod is a continental style rod with a fixed spool reel and braid line. So we're going to see how they compare. So hopefully we're going to start picking up some little fish on these scratching rigs as the sun starts going down, and we'll start to see what sort of bite indications we get. So just to look at what we got here, just tilt this down a little bit so you can see the reels. So on the left we've got a BlackRock SS10 competition series rod, which is a longer rod, lovely rod, very, very good bite indication on it. And we've got that with a Penn Battle 2. There you go. So, and we've got a Penn long cast Battle 2 on there, which is equipped with braid line and a braid shock leader actually. So it's braid all the way down to the actual rig. And then the other rod is a Zziplex, which I dropped and I've scratched the varnish on, so I'm not very happy about that. It's an M4 GT. So again, nice bitey tippy rod, but I've got that with a Fathom 2, Penn Fathom 2 casting special. So let the battle commence. Let's cast out the fixed spool first. So we're just going to off the ground cast this and whack it out as far as we can. It's a bit snaggy here, so we might lose some gear. Let's try a pendulum cast, first chuck of the night, see if we can swing it. Don't think I'm going to get it the distance I'm getting my fixed spool, to be truthful. 1, 2. So there we go, the traps are set. As I say, multiplier versus fixed spool, Zziplex versus continental style rod, monofill versus braid. All fishing the same baits. So, see how it goes. Well, rods are out, sun's going down, not getting any activity yet, but I do suspect that the tide, the bottom of the tide's around about 8 o'clock. I'm not quite sure what the time is now, but I reckon that about 8 o'clock, just as the sun's going down, and just after 8 o'clock when the tide starts to run, we might see some activity. Big tides at the moment, big spring tides, which is good. Pretty splendid sunset coming up. Me and my sunsets. Let's see if we can get it on alive. We've got 3 rods out. We've already lost one lot of gear because it's a snaggy bottom. I've changed the crab cam over to a bait now. Got the fluey out on the middle rod, and the 2 scratching rigs are back out in the scratching rig challenge. I've been so busy tacking up and adjusting stuff and what have you that I don't know if I've had any bites or not, but we'll sit down. We're doing a live at the moment, so we'll carry on with that. And it's fishing. Tide is now starting to catch up with me, and I'm not gonna fish. I'm not gonna move and fish again. So I'm gonna start winding my gear in, and I'm gonna tidy up and go home. So thanks very much. Well, just goes to show, doesn't it? Winding in my last, winding it in, and I've got quite a big pouting on there. Yeah, I didn't even see that bite. Well, the scratching rig challenge, I'm afraid it's 1-0 to the Braid. I've had one little fish on it, and all I've done with the multiplier and monofill is get snagged and lose my gear. So it's not a clean bottom here. It is snaggy here. It just might be lucky, bad luck that I managed to get snagged both times with this rod, and I cast over the snags with the fixed spool. But yeah, tonight definitely the fixed spool and Braid won the challenge, hands down. Well, another evening on the beach. Continuing the scratching rig challenge. It's multiplier with monofill on a Zziplex rod versus fixed spool with Braid on a Conti rod. Both fishing exactly the same scratching rig. We just want to see what bite detection's like, if we catch more fish on it. This is the 3rd night of this challenge, and the 2nd night. Currently the fixed spool on the Conti rod is winning 1-0. Let's see if we can equal it out a bit tonight. So we're at a slightly different location. We're at Langley, just this to the east of Eastbourne, and we're fishing into the dark and the tide up. So let's get those things out. Let's start the contest. But we're scratching tonight. Let's hope we pick up something, and let's see how the 2 rods compare. So we'll whack out the fixed spool first. I noticed that. And now we're going to get the multiplier out, see how far we can get that boy out. Right, so that's it. The traps are set. Let's see what transpires. I'm down here with Woody, and he's just brought his first rod in, and the line is completely covered in weed, and his bait has been crabbed to hell. So I'm going to bring one of the rods in just to see how I'm getting on. So let's do that now. Yeah, cabbage and no fish. Let's get that sorted out and get it back out there. Okay, so I brought the first rod in, which was the fixed spool. I had a bit of weed on it. One of the baits had completely gone, but the other bait was intact actually, much to my surprise. So I'm going to bring the multiplier in now and just see how that's got on. That's on monofill line, and I suspect that it will have picked up more weed, but we'll find out. Weed! Bloody weed! We have got a little bit of interest on the middle rod, which is the continental rod with the braid line. Only a little tiny tap and a rattle. Could just be crabs, or it could be something small. We're only using quite small hooks, a size 3 hook. So we'll leave it there for a little while. There is 2 baits on that. See if we get a double header on it. But just as a pointer, the Conti rod with a nice thin tip like that rod has got, and braid line, shows up every single touch on the hook ring. With monofill, with slightly thicker rods, yeah, it's got to be a cracking big bite before you see it. These tiny little touches you're not going to see. Which, when you're scratching, is the sort of things you're going to get. We've brought crab cam in now. Quite a lot of weed on it. The bait had gone. So I've got a whole squid out on that now. Who knows? See what we can pick up. Certainly feed the crabs. Time for another cup of tea. Well, it's a good sign or a bad sign that there are spider crabs going on out there, because that hook has been bitten clean off, which is spider crab's calling card, shall we say. Just wound in the rod that had a whole squid on, and just in case there's any doubt in anyone's mind about the presence of spider crabs out here, there's this little geezer on there, and that was a whole squid. I doubt if that one little tiny spider crab has eaten the whole thing, but it would be nice if this was a little tiny peeling spider crab, I must admit, but it's not. A little male spider crab, and we'll let him grow away and grow to be a big spider crab. But yeah, they've totally mullered my bait, so I'm going to need to bait that up. But that solves the is a solution as to why my hook snoods are getting bitten through. Spider crabs. Right, Woody has just declared he has a fish on. So, pardon? Little bass. Oh, nice bass. Very nice bass. I bet you're pleased with that.
Yeah, you know. Took a bit of worm.
Yeah. Just a little bit of worm on a fairly small hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Hurrah! Hurrah! That was on the Zziplex monofill. Getting back. Just about the top of the tide, got about 20 minutes left and then that is the top of the tide. It's not exactly the busiest of nights on the beach. Had a few knocks, had a few hooks bitten off by spider crabs. Did bring in one small spider crab. I've had one whiting and Woody's had quite a nice bass. So it's not over till it's over, and keep on wishing, keep on fishing. But it hasn't been a blank. I have caught a whiting, so I have not blanked. The scratching rig did what it's meant to do. It brought me in a whiting, and in fact in the challenge it's now 1-1 because the whiting came in on the monofill multiplier rod. Oh, I have got a rattle on the right hand rod, so let's wind that one in. That will put the monofill multiplier rod ahead in the challenge. If there's a fish on here. Well, there is a fish. In fact, I think there's 2 fish. A dogfish! Woohoo! A dogfish and a pouting. Or was it a whiting?
Whiting.
There we go. So that is 3-1 to the monofill rod. A very small whiting. We'll go straight back. And a very small dogfish. Bait this something to get it back out there. Let's get to the last scratching of this with the wrapper worms.
Oh, nice. Yeah, lovely job.
So we've had another fish, another species to the pot tonight. The tiniest conger eel I've ever seen. Definitely a conger because of the size of its eyes and the size of its head and everything. And the white line down it. Best way to handle these is with a towel in your hand. Get a good hold on it. Luckily it's just lip hooked. So look at that. Literally came off in my hand. So yeah, go back and grow into being a big £100 eel, please. And it's away. That was on a whole squid. So let's tackle that back up with a whole squid and get that back out there. So the best fish of the night so far is with this lovely little bass. Here's the bait. Nice little tiny calamaris. And whack that out. Something else on this rig. Semi-frozen calamari is bloody freezing. Yeah, I think it might turn into a dog fest from now. If you want any squid, Woody, just help yourself, mate. So, nice little bait there. I'd eat that. It looks like there's some fish out there that eat it. Well, just wound in second to last rod, big heavy weight on it. I'm thinking, oh, it's not fighting like a fish, and it's because it wasn't a fish. It was a big, we are talking big, spider crab. I mean, that's a big spider crab, but for some reason it's got no pinchers. It's just legs, which is a bit weird. But it is a big spider crab. It's probably getting ready to peel, which is why it's a bit of a sorry state. But yeah, that's a big old spider crab. So we'll get that back to be a nuisance to somebody else. So yeah, big spider crab. I'm going to give it, let's put it, hold it in my hand so you can see, get some sort of idea of scale. That's it, that's in my hand. So you can see that's a big spider crab. Right, let's get that back into the ocean. Okay, one last thing to say. I want to give a big up to Sam Wyatt at Tools and Tackle in Newhaven. I went in there to buy some bait today, and she donated a load of tackle for Jason's rehoming tackle and getting kids into fishing. So it's a big up to her. Thank you very much. I'm sure Jason will say thank you too. But yeah, thank you very much for that, Sam.